Alrighty. So here we go. We are, well, first and foremost, welcome to the Homeless Broker Experience. This is going to be episode one, which I'm going to be going over day one. I just opened up the email, the first email that I sent myself on day one. So I'm going to watch the video and then I'm going to read through it just to refresh my memory. And then I'm going to recall the motions that I went through on that day. And then I'm going to be sharing it with you. Right. So, you know, probably some of the first thoughts is like, the irony behind being a broker and then being homeless. There's that factor, and then the fact that I don't appear to be homeless, right? I mean, look at where I'm at. This is just proof of my resourcefulness, tapping into certain resources which I've had access to for a very long time. I just now started utilizing certain resources that have helped me advance fairly quickly in my projects and my goals, right? So getting a call, gonna ignore that call for now, get back to it later. Alright, so I've only got one. So I'm gonna watch the video, then I'm gonna read the email, then I'm gonna recall some thoughts.
1 minute to talk. This is day one of the homeless broker experiment. Ironically, it's not an experiment. I'm actually in day one of officially being homeless. It is September 1st, 2023, and the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I'm not gonna have enough space to store long time messages in my phone and on my devices. So for now, I'm just gonna do minute-long videos and emailing it to aroaflorida23@gmail.com. So just to keep a long story short, this is going to be a minute-long daily journal of monitoring the story and essentially capturing different moments. So that's my minute for today. This is day one. I'm going to continue doing this on a daily basis. And let's see how the story evolves. I'll probably do 1 minute in the morning, 1 minute at night. So that's it for now. Hope this video attaches and we're good to go. Peace.
Okay. All right. So, hello, Aroa. This is the first video of many to come. Hopefully not too many, though. We are officially homeless. However, it will be fine in the end. And if it isn't fine, it simply isn't the end. Funny thing is, I'm not even scared. I feel fine. On the inside, there's a part of me that is bummed out. But overall, I'm excited about the story to come out of this experience because ultimately I have to overcome this challenge. So on day one, it's raining, and I'm sitting in Valerie's car, a 2009 Chevy HHR, parked in the back of CVS on the corner of Vermont and 192. I successfully set up my gym membership with $0 to join and $0 for the first month. However, I will not be going to the gym tonight because I'm exhausted from my walk to the gym earlier in the day, which was 3.2 miles there and 3.2 miles back. So what I will do is go inside, use the restroom. When I get back out, I will remove my socks and sneakers and snack on an apple, rice cake, and peanut butter. Then I'm going to call it a night. In the morning, I will be going to the gym at 5 a.m. and getting in the first official workout for this experiment. When I am done there, I will prepare to get Valerie to work and review my account so I can report to you how bad this new pivotal point is. We've only got one way to go, and that's up. I have a great night. I love you. All right. So essentially, the inspiration and thought of doing this project came to me in the process of packing up my things, right? So just to fill y'all in real quick. All right. So, for those of you who don't know, um, I became homeless in the month of September of this year, 2023. And essentially, I was living with who I call my godparents and godbrother. And ultimately, due to everybody's circumstances, not just my own, but everybody's circumstances within the household itself, it just came to a conclusion that it was time for me to depart from residing there. So ultimately, looking at all of my options and being in the midst of basically living paycheck to paycheck as an agent, um, being in the middle of closings, wide gaps in between closings. So far, honestly, I've only closed 2 deals. And a huge chunk of my last check was put towards balances due on debt and rent, essentially. So when the circumstances presented themselves, I ultimately came to the conclusion that I would be homeless temporarily until the next check came in and I was able to establish something for myself. Um, on that particular day, in Dr. Phillips, I happened, okay, so there was about, I would say, 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks where I knew this day was coming, right? So I was, as always, masterminding, brainstorming all the different ideas, different things that I can do to maybe not be homeless, have another situation prepared, right, to go to, right, another living situation. However, I was battling and having this internal conflict with myself about not wanting anybody to know about my situation, about not having the appropriate funds to offer anything to anybody for occupying a space in their home, right? And then I lacked the credentials to be able to get not only the finances but also the credentials, meaning I have a horrible background check. My credit was not the best, or at least not approvable, right, for standard, typical background check and credit checks, right, for leasings, for standard leases, right, which are ran through property management, not through owners. And essentially, it was just more like, how do I prevent anybody from knowing about my situation? So ultimately, I came to the conclusion that I would just live in Valerie's car for the time being until I can figure something out, or until a deal closes that would alleviate the financial portion, right? And then at least open up some options and create some ideas, right? So ultimately, that was the plan. Was, all right, I can stay in the car. Um, However that would be physically, like the comfortability of that would be figured out later. And then uh, I happened to see a promotion because I was thinking, all right, which gyms can I set up a membership with little to no money, right? I didn't have the money to afford the beginning of a gym membership, right? So I was looking at CF Fitness for two reasons. One, the girls were enrolled in Dr. Phillips, so they were enrolled in school in Dr. Phillips, which was Palm Lake Elementary School, and there was a location in Dr. Phillips, and there was another location in St. Cloud. So Valerie lives in St. Cloud, and it ultimately made sense to be able to go there, which both locations were in close proximity to where she lives in St. Cloud, and the Dr. Phillips location was within close proximity to where the girls went to school. So ultimately, I was looking at CF Fitness, and then as you all know, uh, in today's world, once you start doing some research or looking something up, Google follows your activity. So after looking at it, I calculated that I would need about $123 more or less to set up my gym membership, right? So then um, there was a thought. I had an account with them back in 2019, which I know consciously, um, I ended without officially canceling. So I mentioned that to circle back to that later, right? So in this moment, I'm like, all right, $123. And there may be, and in the back of my mind, I'm thinking there may be a balance that I may also have to cover in order to activate a new gym membership, right? So that was the thought that prevented me from moving forward on that particular amount. So that I was going to pay. I had at least that much. I think I had roughly a little bit over $150 in my account, right? And it sounds crazy to have such little money, right? So, anyways, so I'm like, all right, I'm not going to cover this. It's not gonna be so smart. I'm about a week and a half to 2 weeks out, so I'm just gonna let that be. And lo and behold, a couple of days later, I'm getting an email about a Labor Day promotion. And the Labor Day weekend promotion for CF Fitness Gym was $0 for your first month, $0 registration fee, and yeah, you just all you got to do is sign up online. It was an email promotion. So as soon as I saw that, boom, I locked it in, didn't even think twice about it, and I figured I wasn't even gonna find that at Planet Fitness or Crunch, right? So I locked that in, and that was the plan. All right, every morning, every night, if I start the morning with a workout, that calls for a shower, and then if I went there at night, hit a workout, that calls for a shower as well. So at least my ability to shower and be clean was covered, right? Personal hygiene was covered. Plus, of course, the benefits of working out and being consistent in it um, was an added benefit as well, right? So that first night, it had been a rainy day, right? Starting from the late afternoon, more or less, I would say 3, 4 o'clock from the time that basically from the time that I came back from the gym, right? Because I dealt with the second half of the registration on the day of becoming homeless. So that was basically paying a visit to the gym and meeting with one of the gym trainers for an orientation. So I got my body scanned, took my weight, the whole nine, and then did a brief orientation of the gym. Um, and then walked back and waited for Valerie to essentially pick me up, right? So by the time she picks me up, it is raining. Skies are gray. It's raining. It's getting dark earlier than anticipated. I want to say it was sometime between 5:45 to 6:30, more or less. So um, when she arrives, we start packing things into my car. Of course, the girls, when they see me packing things into the car, they're barefoot. We're trying to get them to stay in the car, and they are always, always, always willing and wanting to help. So they ignore me and decide to help anyways, which was beautiful. I love it anyways. So aside from the fact that they were walking barefoot on a rainy day, obviously the risk of getting sick and so on and so forth was the only thing that I was opposed to. But either way, it was what it was, and I wasn't in the mood to fight against them. So they helped me bring things into the car. And yeah, we took the trek on to get them home. When we get them home, I go ahead and remove the majority of my things from the car just so that I have enough space to lay out. And essentially, yeah, just stayed with the bare minimum of my things, which was just like a change of clothes, a bag of clothes, everything that I would need for the gym, everything that I would need for my hair in the morning, the essentials essentially. So after that, I wasn't quite sure as to where I would park, but I did know the main thoughts that I had revolved around being close to a bathroom that I can use at any given point at night, and obviously being within close proximity to Valerie's house and the gym, and yeah, that was it. Within close proximity to those two places to be able to commute easily, right? Because morning traffic does get crazy with kids going to school. But either way, that was a Friday night. Um, so yeah, I just wasn't quite sure where I would park, where I would be able to park that would allow that. So first things first, I went to the CVS right there in the corner of Vermont and 192. And after going in, utilizing the bathroom, and getting back to the car, I realized quickly. I realized fairly quickly that it was too lit in that area. I didn't have any eye covers or anything, and then there was a lot of activity too in the parking lot, which made me uncomfortable, kind of uncomfortable, and I just wasn't willing to stay there the entire night. So I do remember that I wound up getting up and driving down the street, continued down Vermont, and just went straight down to Lakeshore Boulevard, all the way down at the very end. And then I wound up parking along the lakeshore. So after this was after I had my snack. As I'm having my snack, my rice cake with peanut butter and an apple, that's when I started thinking all those things about, man, there's a lot of activity going on, too many cars in and out, and I just don't see that parking situation being a good fit. So I wound up along the lakeshore, and yeah, I was able to park in between the light poles, um, under a tree that provided enough shade to cover the light that was coming in from those light poles. And that's when I started playing with the configurations of the car to identify what would be the best way for me to sleep. So I put my duffel bag on the bottom floor in the in front of in between the front the passenger, the side passenger seat, and the back passenger seat. And then I stacked, oh no, it was a basket with things, and then my duffel bag with clothes, and then I put a blanket over that to kind of level it out. And yeah, I had two pillows, a blanket, a throw blanket, and that was my day one, which was the evening time only of homelessness. So, yeah, that was that. I didn't sleep the best, to say the very least, but I did get rest. I definitely did get rest. And when I woke up at my regular time, and I was able to walk along the lake shore. I did some barefoot grounding on the sand near the water, and then I walked maybe about a mile or two before heading to the gym. So that pretty much covers somewhat of the motions that I went through on day one. I, you know, I went in as much detail as possible, maybe with some interaction and engagement. You guys can ask questions that I can maybe answer on a different video, and we can take things from there. But yeah, on the next one, I'll go into day two, what happened the following morning, first day in the gym, so on and so forth. So, um, while you guys are here, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below or send me a direct message. Also, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, welcome to the beginning of the homeless broker experience. And that was another thing. I did change it. I know in the email I called it, I started calling it the experiment. Um, but I actually decided to call it the experience, the homeless broker experience. And before I let you guys go, going back to the thoughts and how I came up with the idea of sending the email, recording the minute-long video journal, and documenting this journey, that inspiration came to me. The inspiration for that idea came to me in the process of packing and waiting for getting picked up that evening. So by the time we were leaving Orlando, heading to St. Cloud, those ideas were spinning in my head. And then when I got to CVS, that's when the decision had already been made after about an hour and a half of the shuffling. And then I went ahead and decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and at least commit to this during this trial period. So um, just another side note there. All right, so like, comment, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to reporting to you guys with day two.